Hi guys, I'm just going to do like a really quick show and tell type video today on this piece of gear here, which is a vintage sleeping bag. It's a sleeping bag, it's a down sleeping bag made by Paddy Paling. Alright, for those of you who don't know who Paddy Paling were, they're a very famous company in Australia. They make the hiking gear starting in the 30s up to about the 70s. They made a lot of classical looking gear, like canvas packs and stuff like that. I haven't seen anything similar to this sleeping bag before. It's a very impressive piece of kit. I just want to show you it, take you through it. I'm love to know how to rate sleeping bags, how to rate them. I'd love to test it. It's a down sleeping bag, but the loft's still very, very sort of light, and it's still a usable bit of kit really. I would love to know what the rating is on it, what the modern rating is. But I'll take it out and I'll show you it, okay? It's a pretty interesting piece of gear really. Okay, so here's the Paddy Paling sleeping bag, and here's the modern sleeping bag, and I've just put a canteen cup there just to give you an idea of scale. So, I mean, it is slightly larger than a modern sleeping bag, but that being said, I think it's pretty compact really, because it's not in any kind of, it doesn't have any kind of compression straps on it. If I was to swap that over, I could probably get it, down to about this size. I take it back in the day they didn't have compression sacks. That's why it was done like this, but it's probably going to work out okay because that would help to maintain the loft. If it was kept in compression over a long period of time, obviously it would ruin the bag. So it looks like the original stuff stack. It's kind of like lined. Do you know what I mean? It has the previous owner's name on it with what looks like a postcode or something like that. But I'll drag it out and I'll show you, and then it looks a little bit more impressive once it's out of the bag. Okay guys, here's the sleeping bag itself. I'm just putting out on the workbench here. There's a few little interesting things about it, okay? The first thing is there's no zip, alright? Which is a little bit unusual. Obviously they had zips by the 60s. Zips came out around about the Second World War. Pretty popular by the 60s and 70s, but no zip, alright? So it's a little bit unusual. I know some modern sleeping bags are made and they don't use zips, like Go-Lite and things like that. Ultralight sleeping bags are made with no zips, but no zip, right? So that's quite kind of interesting, alright? Also, the other thing that's really unusual about this sleeping bag that I haven't seen in any other sleeping bag is the material, alright? The material that's made of. It's not any kind of nylon, it's actually cotton, and it's a waxed cotton, alright? You can't really pick up in the camera, but when you feel it, you can feel that slightly waxy material. It's a waxed cotton, like maybe you would get in a windproof smock, So it's just, for a bushcraft sleeping bag, that's a pretty good option really, you know what I mean? Obviously, if you're sleeping in front of, a campfire with a modern sleeping bag, modern nylon doesn't really work well with campfire cooking type, campfire sleeping. So, I'm going to try and use it. I'm going to see how good it is, take it out an overnighter, see if it's totally past it or whether it's still a usable piece of equipment. Obviously, sleeping bag technology has gone through the roof since this was made. This is pretty much Stone Age in terms of sleeping bag gear. It's really, really out of date. But I mean, the loft itself, it's still got the loft in there. Just puffs up. Do you know what I mean? I can't see why it wouldn't insulate you, and just the condition it's in it. I mean, you couldn't ask for better condition for something that's this old, for something that's 40, 50 years old. To get it in this condition is very, very rare. One of the lines here is missing. Obviously you would pull this around your head. Okay. The one here seems to be missing. But I'll show you the label. Alright. Oh, there goes the canteen cup. Alright. So I'll show you the label. The label's obviously dates it, okay? So you've got Paddy made It's got the person who used to own it. It's written their name on it, obviously. Paddy Made Camping Equipment, Paddy Paling, product of Australia. Kandera, which I believe is a place name of a town. Sleeping bag deluxe, guaranteed, filled. The filling has been thoroughly washed, steamed, sterilised, machine, something, dusted, free of any impurities, hygienes, meets the hygiene standards, something, act, required. Okay, contains super down, it's a little bit hard to read. Don't know, what can I say? I'm going to take it out and use it. Call me crazy. But I think it's quite an interesting piece of equipment. It's a bit of Australiana, you know, it's a bit of kind of like Australian history type thing. A bit of outdoor history. And it's still pretty much a serviceable bit of equipment, so I might take it out and use it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys.